The easiest way to quiet overthinking, to simplify your life, is to follow your intuition, to act on it. Your intuition is giving you guidance. It is connected to your authentic self, to your highest good, to your truth. And when your intuition is telling you something, whether it's to take a leap, to go after a job, to leave a relationship, to follow that passion, or as simply as to pick up the phone and call somebody, it's telling you something important. Your vibes keep you safe. It will always lead you to your highest good and will always tell the truth. When you follow your intuition, when you act on it, the biggest thing that happens when we don't act on our intuition is that you get guidance that comes below the surface. It doesn't make sense to the conscious mind. You might get an intuitive hit that, I think of a client of mine who was in a long-term relationship with this gentleman. They were engaged. And in her heart, in her intuitive self, she knew that this wasn't the right fit, but on paper, it was everything that she was supposed to have. It was, he was a nice guy. Their lifestyles lined up. They knew each other for a long time. It was comfortable. But every time that she got quiet, she just felt this discomfort, this unease. And all the time, she was like, I just kept thinking about it and trying to figure it out and talk myself into it. And, I even got engaged until one day in the middle of the night, she woke up and she was like, I can't do this. I just cannot do this. She picked up the phone because her and her fiance lived in different places and said, look, I love and I care about you, but this is not a good fit, and ended her engagement. And she said that it was one of the hardest things that she had ever had to do, but the biggest thing that she had felt was this sense of relief and peace. She said, Sonia, I had spent so much time and energy trying to talk myself into something that I knew in my heart, in the deepest part of myself, that wasn't a good fit. And it was completely independent of my ex. He was a great guy, but he just wasn't the guy for me. Intuition will often encourage us and actually have us make a change. And our ego intellect, the part of our brains, doesn't like change. It thinks of change as scary. It wants to keep us in a down pillow of what is safe and secure. But in following that intuitive guidance, now she ended up moving to a new city, actually now found the love of her life. She's married with 3 kids. And she says, Sonia, I am so grateful that I trusted myself and trusted my guidance, even though it took a long time to follow that pulse, to follow that, because now I have a life that feels really good. And my ex, also a beautiful wife, a family, and both of them actually now are even friends and laugh about it. And are like, thank God we didn't get married. It was a good rough draft. They dated in high school. It was what they were supposed to do. It was the script, but it wasn't what was true. Your intuition is your true serum. It will guide you to your highest worth. And when you decide to make decisions guided by your intuition, you have so much more psychic mental space. Acting on your intuition is as simple as just starting to pause, because what we're actually asking you to do is to go inward, to listen to vibration, to consult, to know yourself, right? First thing we have to know, I know myself, I know my spirit, I know what feeds me, what supports me, what my needs are. These are the grounded parameters that help to give us and fortify our boundaries so that we can follow our guidance. 2, we tune into our vibration. We pay attention to what our spirit says. This gives us our step-by-step guidance on how to proceed north. 3, we know our emotions. We know that our emotions are different than our intuition, but tell us what is important in our life. This is an act of introspection, of interoception, of going inward. These are new science words that are telling us what about our intuitive guidance, that tell us something and that we trust. Because a lot of times your intuitive guidance might tell you to do something that feels totally crazy. It might take a left to do something out, on your way to work, or we get really stuck into these roots. We get stuck into these grooves, into how we see ourselves, how we see the world, instead of bringing ourselves to the moment of infinite possibility. So for yourself, first ask yourself, do I consult my intuition in making decisions? Or do I like to think about it? How do I feel about making change? How do I give myself comfort and reassurance? Where do I have confidence in my skills and my gifts? And even where do I think my intuition will guide me? A lot of times our ego intellect gets really scared that our intuition is going to lead us off a cliff. It might lead us into something that's uncomfortable because it's not right, but the temporary discomfort for what isn't true is worth the cost. Instead of building a life that is in alignment with our heart, with ourselves, that then creates a stability and a trust and a knowing of who we are and really an expansion of our spirit. So today I really want to encourage you to not think about your intuition. Don't make it more information. Instead, choose to act on it. And if you're being guided to a really big decision that you're not ready to make quite yet, just ask yourself, when will you be ready? When will you be ready? And I'd even encourage you to even give yourself a date on a calendar, because I do know the ego intellect likes to push things all the way down. And also travel lightly with your intuition as well. We can use it in day-to-day things. What am I going to eat? What would feed my spirit today? What is true? What is something that my spirit says that we can start to use in conversation? Starts to allow us to have a felt relationship with our intuition where we're guided moment by moment by moment, so that when we are asked to do big things, that we know that it might feel scary, but it's not dangerous, because we know that we're never alone. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, really, when you trust your intuition and act on it, you have so much more space, because you don't have to bury so much. It's kind of like, when you say something that's true, you're like, oh my gosh, thank God, I've been waiting to say that for forever. So yeah, also come to my workshop. I am teaching a workshop August 21st. It's $10, the fastest way to simplify your life. It's a really powerful workshop on really building a felt relationship with your intuition so that you can act on it. And also, hi, I'm Sonia. If you're new here, I'm a 4th generation intuitive. And this is what I do. I teach you how to get in touch with your intuition, how to follow it, how to trust it, how to uncover your authentic, magical, brilliant self. So come to my workshop, as my Nana would say, you cannot improve upon your spirit. All you can do is allow more of it. So all you have to do is pay attention, bring that awareness inwards and say, instead of, is that right? Does that resonate? And then follow that guidance moment by moment by moment. So I'm sending you all my love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.